Yo, what up, everybody? You're tuned in to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am Marshall Green. In today's video, we're going to take questions from subscribers. So if you did not get your question answered, it's really your own fault. And the way you can fix that is really simple. Go down right now, hit that big red subscribe button, join the squad, become a member of the team, and subscribe to Knicks Now and be a real one as we are on the quest for 30,000 subs on the channel. We'd appreciate it if you hit that sub button. First question coming in from my man Rich Robb, a GOAT here on the channel. Shout out to Rich. Appreciate the super chat as well, my man. He said, could Mikal Bridges technically request a trade now and say New York or nothing? I won't extend anywhere else. Pause. He didn't sign there. He was traded to Brooklyn. That's a really good point, Rich. I think, though, that we're probably a year away from Mikal Bridges requesting a trade. He did half a season in Brooklyn, like you said. He didn't sign there. He got traded there. And I'm going to look it up real quick, what his contract looks like. But I believe that if a Mikal Bridges trade were to go down, I think it would be in the summer of 2024. Bridges is under contract through 2026. So that summer of 2026 when he could be a free agent. So not next summer, not the summer after that, summer after that. We're 3 summers away at this point. But I could definitely see him requesting a trade, and he could pull the Damian Lillard card of saying, I'm not going there, I'm going here, I won't show up. I think that's really the most likely and probably the only way the New York Knicks could acquire Mikal Bridges. He would have to request a trade, and I think it would have to be next offseason. I think you got to give the Brooklyn Nets one more year if you're Mikal Bridges to see if things shake out in your favor. But let's say that the Nets are bad next year and they don't make the playoffs. They're not just going to hold Mikal Bridges hostage. They may try to cash in on the chips while he's a hot commodity. William McConaughey, $2 super chat. We appreciate you, brother. Break down OG and Siakam for Randle and RJ. I believe if this were to be a trade, Randle and RJ for OG and Siakam, I think the Knicks would be the team having to add a couple of first-round picks. I believe Randle is a better fit for the Knicks as currently constructed than Siakam, but I would definitely understand if someone said Siakam was better than Randle. I believe OG is better than RJ, but RJ is a couple years younger at this point. Could maybe you do Randle, RJ, and a protected and or 2 protected and an unprotected? Maybe. Your starting lineup was what? Brunson, Grimes, OG, Siakam, and Mitchell Robinson. That'd be pretty good. You'd be a much better defensive team, no doubt about it, but you would lose some creation on the offensive end because while Siakam and OG, I think, are just as good, if not better, than Randle and RJ, neither of them are the shot creators and offensive players that those two guys are, but they are much better defenders. I honestly think they might be better winning pieces at this point. I think the Knicks would be the team, though, having to add a couple more picks into that situation. William, we appreciate the super chat. And great question, my man. Kingdom Come Music says, would you rather have Donovan Mitchell or Zach Lavine? That's a good question. I believe they're very similar players at this point in their careers. I think Donovan Mitchell is probably a better scorer through and through. I think he needs the ball, though, a little bit more than Lavine. When you look at what Lavine has done, I think he just fits really well into what the Knicks want to do, and I think he's a much better defender than Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell is 6'1", Lavine is 6'5", 6'6", and I know a lot of people say Lavine doesn't play defense. Well, go put on the tape from Team USA a couple of summers ago when they were playing in the Olympics. Lavine was picking up full court and was really the Team USA's best defender. So I don't buy into the fact that he's not a defender. I also like that Lavine is a better player off ball. Lavine shoots 41.6% from downtown on catch-and-shoot percentages, while Donovan Mitchell is around 37%. Not that big of a difference, but I think Mitchell is more of a high pick-and-roll guy that needs the ball to be effective, while I think Lavine could play off of Brunson a little bit more. And also that I think you're just bigger. Like, do I want 2 6'1" guards in my backcourt, or do I want a 6'1" Jalen Brunson and a 6'5" Zach Lavine? Zach Lavine also finishes better than Donovan Mitchell does at the rim. Who do you think, though, the Knicks need to trade for? Is it Zach Lavine? Is it Donovan Mitchell? I want to hear from you guys down below. Name a player you want to see the Knicks trade for as we get closer and closer to the 2023 season get kicked off. My man Jake, we appreciate you, says, would you trade Quickley or Grimes if you had to trade one? That's a really, really good question, Jake, and I hate answering these questions because I love both of these players. I think Immanuel Quickley is a better player right now. I think Grimes has a higher ceiling, but is there a world in the new modern CBA where you can pay Jalen Brunson a maximum contract, which you're going to probably have to do in 2 seasons, while also paying Quickley $25 million? Can you allocate that many resources to the point guard position? That would be my biggest hang-up in an Immanuel Quickley trade. And so probably, even though I think Quickley is a better player, I would rather probably trade him. But I love Immanuel Quickley, and the Knicks don't have a backup point guard. So I go back and forth all the time. I don't know. I think Quentin Grimes could be one of the best two-way wings and 3-and-D players in the NBA. But I also know that Immanuel Quickley is one of the best backup point guards in the league and was second in the NBA in Sixth Man of the Year. It matters who I'm getting. I know I'm kind of cheating there. It matters who I'm getting. I'll ask you, guys, how about this? If you could keep one of these guys, Immanuel Quickley or Quentin Grimes, who would it be? Type 5 for Quickley, type 6 for Quentin Grimes. Which guy would you want to keep? I'd probably lean towards Grimes because I think he could be a starter on a championship team next to Brunson. And I'm not sure you can have a starting backcourt of Brunson and Quickley, even though I think Quickley is a better player than Grimes right now. It's tricky, no doubt about it. I just come back to the salary cap. Can you pay $65 million per year to Quickley and Jalen Brunson and fill out the rest of the roster? I think Quickley's better, though, right now. I think Grimes could be better, though, down the road. But right now, I'm going to go Immanuel Quickley is better. OG says, I heard some talk, but what's the feeling with adding Van Gundy to the coaching staff? We talked about it in yesterday's video. Chris Mannix of SI reported that there's reports that Jeff Van Gundy has been looking across the NBA to get back in coaching after he was laid off by ESPN. He's been in talk, I believe it was with the Mavericks, another team in the Wizards, about joining their staff on the bench. Does he want to come back to New York, a place he was a head coach, head honcho, and be on the staff next to Tom Thibodeau? We know Tibbs and Jeff Van Gundy are really good friends. I would say I would like to have it because he's a great basketball mind. He knows the city and he knows hoops. But I'm just not sure he'd want to play second fiddle to Tom Thibodeau at this point in his career. I like the question, though, OG. My man Brian, are you really buying Lillard only wants the Heat? Not saying the Knicks should do this, but part of me thinks he would be open to a couple more teams. You can really only go, though, off of what has been reported and said. And I do think he only wants, or that's the hard ball he's playing. I believe if he got traded to another team that he would show up to training camp. He ain't turning down $50 million guaranteed. He ain't that stupid. Look, if you wanted a no-trade clause, you should have freaking got that in your contract. You want to go play wherever you want? You should have went to NBA free agency. I don't feel one iota of sympathy for Damian Lillard. It sucks because he was one of my favorite players in the league, and now he's acting like a chump. I hate this charade that he's playing right now. I do think he wants to play for the Heat, but I do not think that he is the only destination that he will play for is the Heat. I would keep my eyes on that. I don't think the Knicks should get involved. I think the Celtics could be in play. I think the 76ers could be in play. And probably the Brooklyn Nets as well, as they got a whole bunch of draft ammunition in that Kevin Durant trade. So I don't think that the Heat are the only team he would play for, but I do think the Heat is the main team that he wants to play for. So a little bit of difference right there. Remember, guys, to subscribe to the channel. If we missed your question today, it's because you're not a subscriber. So change that. Join the show and hit that big red sub button. Become a real one here at Knicks Now. Ronald, what up, man? He said, what about adding OG and DeRozan to the team? Fit seems it would work for both players and with our style. What do you think? I don't know about adding both. I don't know how you would get both. And I don't know where they would both play, right? Is DeRozan going to be your 2 and OG Anunoby is going to be your 3? that could work theoretically, right? What are you giving up in that situation, though? If I had to choose which one of these guys I would want the Knicks to go pursue, it would be OG Anunoby due to age, defense, and just fit. I think DeRozan, I've kind of warmed up to the idea of DeRozan. I know he's older, and I know he's on an expiring deal, but the Knicks could use another guy that can create his own shot. I know he's not a three-point shooter, and that scares me, no doubt about it, but he's someone that can score from the mid-range better than a lot of people that have ever touched a basketball. And he can kind of be your second team's point guard a little bit. He's averaged over 5 and 6 assists in the last couple of years in his career. I think DeRozan is a good player, one of the best mid-range scorers in the league, instant offense, but I don't think he's necessarily a great fit next to Brunson, Barrett, and Randle, as all three of those guys like to operate downhill, and that's DeRozan. That would be 4 guys on your team that want to operate from the free throw line down. I think it would just be a little bit congested when you think about it. So if I had to choose, I would go with OG Anunoby. King Sintis, what up, bro? What if we meet Obi and Pacers in the playoffs and they beat us? What would you say then? I'd be upset, right? What do you want me to say? I'd be pissed. I think a lot of us would be pissed. At this point, if the Knicks don't make it to the conference finals, I'm going to be upset. You got to be better than you were last year, and that was a team that took the Miami Heat to 6 games. The Obi trade was not fun. It was not fun. You got 2 future second-round picks that aren't going to be here until 2028 and 2029. So it wasn't ideal. I think the Knicks may have done Obi a solid in this one, maybe to kind of make up their save face a little bit for the Cam Reddish debacle. But at the end of the day, I think the Knicks were the losers in that trade, and it would hurt like hell to see Obi Toppin balling out against the Knicks in the playoffs and sending us home. That would hurt. That would be a gut punch. Sean, my man, he said late to the chat. Sean, you are never late. You are always on time, my man. He says, hello, fam. Hello, brother. What's going on? What's this about Hart tweeting about Bridges being back with the boys? Yeah, he's been recruiting him on Twitter. We've got a couple of the pictures that we can pop up real quick. So Josh Hart tweeted at Mikal Bridges and said, we're teammates again. And he mentioned Mikal Bridges and Jalen Brunson. Remember, Bridges, Brunson, and Hart were teammates at Villanova, and they both have been, all three, have been added to Team USA. Then Mikal Bridges, quote, tweeted Josh Hart and said, tampering, where's Adam Silver? And then Josh Hart responded to that and said, what'd I do? I'm talking about Team USA. No, you're not. No, you're not, Josh Hart. You're talking about the Knicks. You're talking about the Villanova Knicks, the Nova Knicks. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not all that likely right now. I think we're a summer or 2 away from Mikal Bridges even contemplating the idea of joining the Knicks, which would probably have to be where he demands a trade from Brooklyn. So I hope that answers your question, my man. As always, thank you guys, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in for another episode here at New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. Love doing these mailbags. Love just getting to interact with you guys. Jesus. That's kind of what we pride ourselves on is audience interaction. That's what makes us different from every other Knicks channel out there. We want to be the most interactive, engaging, and informative and entertaining coverage. So I hope we did that, and I appreciate you guys rocking out with us. We'll see you later.